Look up at the sky. What color is it? Blue. Obviously. Now, here is something that will mess with your head. For almost all of human history, nobody saw it that way. Ancient people did not just ignore the color blue. Many of them may not have truly seen it at all. Not because their eyes were broken. Their eyes were exactly like yours. Something else was missing. And once you understand what, you will start to wonder what colors you are missing right now. Because this is not just ancient history. It is still happening today, in millions of people, maybe even in you. Stick around, because halfway through this video I will show you a country where a green traffic light is officially called blue. And it is not a mistake. Let's start with the clue that cracked this whole thing open. It begins with an old blind poet named Homer. Almost 3,000 years ago, he wrote the Odyssey, one of the most detailed stories of the ancient world. And when Homer described the sea, he never once called it blue. He called it the wine-dark sea, a sea the color of red wine. He described honey as green. He called sheep the color of wine. He said the sky was bronze, like metal. Beautiful writing. But something is clearly off. For centuries, nobody thought much of it, until a British scholar named Gladstone picked up the book. And Gladstone was not just any reader. He would later become the Prime Minister of Britain. But first, he became obsessed with Homer's colors. So he did something nobody had bothered to do. He counted every single color word in Homer's writing. Black appeared almost 200 times, white about 100, red only a handful, yellow and green barely there, and blue not once, 0. The most detailed poet of the ancient world never used the word blue. In an epic full of sky and sea. Quick pause. If this is already breaking your brain a little, hit like and subscribe. This channel lives for the questions that make you see yourself differently. Okay? Because now it gets strange. At first, people had an easy excuse. Homer was blind. Maybe his colors just did not count. But then a scholar named Lazarus Geiger went further. He decided to check the oldest writings of other cultures. Cultures that had never even heard of Homer. He read the ancient Icelandic sagas. He read the old Hindu poems. He read the Quran. He read ancient Chinese stories. He read the original Hebrew of the Bible. And everywhere he looked, he found the same impossible hole. Rich descriptions of black, white, red, and yellow. And almost no blue at all. The Hebrew Bible alone describes the sky many times, and not once does it call the sky blue. Cultures on different continents that never met, all missing the exact same color. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And in 1969, 2 researchers named Berlin and Kay finally measured it. They studied almost 100 different languages from around the world. And they discovered something almost unbelievable. Languages name their colors in nearly the same order. Every time. If a language has only 2 color words, they are always black and white. Dark and light. If it adds a 3rd color, it is always red. The color of blood. The color of fire. Then comes yellow and green. And blue is almost always the very last color to arrive. The same staircase in culture after culture all over the planet. As if every human language climbs the colors in the same footsteps. So why is blue always the straggler? Why does the whole world name it last? Here is the twist. Because blue barely exists in nature. Stop and think about it. There are almost no blue animals. The few bluebirds you can picture are not really made of blue pigment. They are tricks of the light. Blue flowers are rare. Blue food is almost non-existent. The sky looks blue, but you cannot hold it. You cannot point at it. The sea looks blue, but scoop it into your hands and it turns clear. Blue was everywhere and nowhere at the same time. There was simply no blue thing to name the color after. Every other color had an anchor. Red had blood. Green had plants. Blue had nothing solid at all. So for thousands of years, it hid in plain sight. And here is the proof that this is not just about dusty old books. Because the exact same thing is still happening right now. In many languages alive today, blue and green are still the same color. One single word for both. In Japanese, the word ao once covered everything from the sea to the leaves on a tree. And here is my favorite part. In Japan, the go signal on a traffic light is not called green. It is officially called blue. AO. The light looks green to you and me, but the language decided it was blue, and so that is what people see. In Welsh, the word glas has been used for the sea, the grass, and the sky. In Vietnamese, one word, zon, still covers both the color of the sky and the color of leaves. In Old Chinese, a single word, ching, could mean blue, green, or even black. These are not primitive people. These are huge, modern cultures. They see the same light you do. They just slice it into different colors. So, was there anyone in the ancient world who did see blue? Yes, one civilization, Egypt. The Egyptians were the one ancient culture with a clear, confident word for blue. And there is a very specific reason why. They were the only people on Earth who could make blue. Around 4,500 years ago, they cracked it. They ground up sand, copper, and minerals, and heated them at just the right temperature. And out came a brilliant, glowing blue powder. It was the first artificial color humans ever created. The very first synthetic pigment in history. This blue was so advanced that scientists just discovered something wild. It still glows under infrared light, thousands of years later. The Egyptians painted it on their gods, their tombs, and their jewelry. To them, blue was the color of the heavens and eternal life. And once they had a name for it and a use for it, blue stopped hiding. But here is the strange ending. After the fall of Rome, the recipe for Egyptian blue was completely lost. For over 1,000 years, nobody could make it again. The Egyptians did not have better eyes than anyone else. They just had a word and a reason to care. But all of this raises one wild question. Can a simple word actually change what your eyes see? It sounds impossible. So scientists went looking for an answer. And they found it with a tribe living today called the Himba. The Himba have no single word for blue, but they have many different words for shades of green. So the scientists ran a test. They showed the Himba a circle of green squares, with one single blue square hidden among them. To you, that blue square screams out instantly. The Himba struggled to find it at all. Some could not point to it, even after staring. Then the scientists flipped the test around. They showed a circle of green squares where just one green was slightly different. To your eyes, all of them look completely identical. The Himba spotted the odd one immediately, because they had a word for that exact shade, and you do not. So let that really sink in. It was never about the eyes. Ancient eyes were the same as yours in every single way. Blue light was always landing on them, but without a word for it, The brain did not file blue as its own thing. It just melted into green, into dark, into the background. The color was there. The category was not. And your brain can only truly notice what it has a box to put it in. And if you think you are safe, that your colors are the real ones, think again. Look at a rainbow. How many colors does it have? 7, right? You were taught 7. But a rainbow does not actually have 7 colors. It has no set number at all. It is a smooth, endless blend. The number 7 was chosen by one man, Isaac Newton. And Newton squeezed in an extra color, indigo, on purpose. Not because he saw it clearly, but because he believed 7 was a magic number, like the 7 musical notes. So the colors of the rainbow you memorized as a child were partly just one man's decision, which flips this whole thing back onto you. How many colors are you not seeing right now? Not because they are not there, but because your language never handed you a name for them. In Russian, light blue and dark blue are 2 completely separate colors, not shades of one color. 2 different colors with 2 different names. And in tests, Russian speakers spot the difference faster than English speakers can. Their eyes are the same as yours, but their world is, quite literally, cut into more colors. And you will never know exactly what you are missing. Here is the part that stays with you. The sky did not turn blue the day we finally named it. It was always there, waiting. We just could not really see it until language gave us the eyes. Words are like a pair of glasses you never knew you were wearing. They do not just describe your world. They quietly decide how much of it you get to see. Your ancestors were not blind. They were just waiting for a word. So tonight, look up at the sky and try, just for a second, to see it the way they did. As nothing, as part of the dark, as no color at all. If this changed the way you see the world, subscribe for more. And tell me in the comments, what do you think the very first color humans ever named was? Here is a hint. It is the color of blood. Thanks for watching.